Tales from the Afterlife, Part 2. Shades of Grey. You discover in the afterlife that God understands the complexities of life. She originally constructed her universe as a binary system with black and white and good and evil as the main principles. But after a while, she came to the realization that humans could be good in some ways, but at the same time be corrupt and mean in spirit. And so how was she to work out who goes to hell and who goes to heaven? Could a man be an embezzler, but also give to charity? Might a woman be an adulteress, but bring pleasure and love to two men? And so God developed complex AI systems based on algorithms in order to weigh up all the factors. And then she connected the human race to the smart grid so that all intentions could be monitored. This helped initially, but she didn't really like the idea that the process was automatic, and when her computer generated the final decision, she often would disagree with it. The computerized system of allocating who was to end up in heaven in the afterlife or who was going to hell was not satisfactory to God. She realised both sides had suffered, both had their legitimate grievances, and both pled their cases earnestly. And so she covered her ears and moaned to herself in misery. She now realised that the humans she had created were multidimensional and were not the same creatures that she originally created in the rigid structure of her initial choices. Not all gods go through this sort of turmoil. A lot of them don't really care too much about the souls they create. And some gods are just children when they make their choices and don't have enough experience to realise the consequences of their actions. It may be to her good fortune that she has grown up a bit over the aeons and has a deep sensitivity, which is not always the case by any means. The problem she had as a god and creator was becoming difficult to cope with, and many were gathering in long queues waiting for a decision to be made on their fate. Her advisors advised her to perhaps delegate the decision making, but she loved her humans too much and couldn't bear to leave the decision to someone else. In a moment of desperation, it crossed her mind to maybe just let everyone wait around indefinitely and perhaps let them work it out all for themselves. But then a better idea struck her generous spirit. Her better idea was to grant every last human a place in heaven. She could afford to do this because everyone has something good inside of them, she thought, as it was part of her original design specifications. This new plan brought back a spring in her step and a bounce into her gait, and the colour returned to her cheeks. She shut down the operations in hell, fired the devil, and brought every last human to be by her side in heaven. Newcomers or old-timers, nefarious or righteous, under her new system, everyone got equal time to speak with her. Most people found her perhaps a little garrulous and maybe over-solicitous, but they did not accuse her of not caring. More importantly, her new system treated everyone equally. It could have been eternal fire for some and endless harp music for others, but not the case in her new system, which respected equality. There would be no Netflix versus Amazon Prime, no BBC versus Channel 4, no Budweiser versus champagne, and no potatoes versus sushi. Everyone is a brother or sister to all, and for the first time in existence we all had true equality. Those who control the world are now baffled and somewhat irritated because they have finally achieved their society, but only by the help of God, whom they don't want to believe in. The capitalists are abashed that they are now stuck in eternity with no incentives to get on, and they are surrounded by communists. The progressive conservatives are not just an oxymoron, but they have no poor and weak people to disparage, and the liberals have no downtrodden to promote. So God sits on the edge of her bed and cries, and then she weeps all night. She cannot stop sobbing because she finally concludes that she has created hell.